Good day, everyone, and welcome to our course, Building and Enhancing New Literacies Across the Curriculum. We are now on our 7th module, which is the Eco-Literacy or Ecological Literacy. We have discussed different literacies, and now let's go back to nature. These are the objectives of ecological literacy. First, we may be able to define ecological literacy. Second, distinguish among environmental literacy, eco-literacy, and ecological literacy. Third, describe an eco-literate person. And lastly, recognize individual and collective roles in protecting and rehabilitating the environment and ecosystem. We are now at a critical point with many environmental issues such as climate change and rampant environment destruction. And we can really feel it, especially now. It's really warm. Alienation from nature greatly contributes to the aggravation of these environmental problems. Ecological literacy is important to business and political leaders and to all levels of education. So everybody is affected with the effects of how people have mismanaged the ecosystem. There are lots of problems we are experiencing right now. Every day in our environment gets worse, and it's caused a lot of problems to animals and humans. Many would say this might be one of the effects of globalization. Others would say human beings are also the one destroying the environment. In this lesson, we will know our rules in protecting and rehabilitating the environment and ecosystem. We will not be debating as whose fault with the very warm feeling that we are having right now. Instead, we will going to think what are the things that we can do. As a student, what can you contribute to help save our Mother Earth? And what have you done so that you can give or you can add to the contribution on saving our Mother Earth? Ecological literacy refers to one individual understanding not only at ecological concept but also of his or her place in the ecosystem. The term ecological literacy was first introduced by David in 1989 in his essay, Ecological Literacy. He indicated that knowing, caring, and practical competence form the foundation of ecological literacy. He pointed out that the root of environment crisis is the individual's inability to think about ecological pattern, system of causation, and long-term effect of human action. Well, because if you do understand these things, then you might be able to know what action or what actions you will be making, what things or what decision you should try and avoid. Thus, he emphasized the importance of experience in one's natural environment that can enable human to shift perspective from one of an economic emphasis to one of the balance among economics, ecology, and culture. So please take note of your experiences and try to think also the reasons of the effects and how you felt in those experiences with regards to nature. Or 1992 also argued that ecologically literate person understand the dynamics of environmental crisis, which includes an understanding of how people have become so destructive. Therefore, Identifying school students' ecological literacy levels is a necessary step to investigate their behaviors, attitudes, sensitivity, and behavioral intention. That is why this kind of knowledge is embedded even in our school curriculum, even in every company or any organization. They are more aware now as to what are the effects of their company's action in the environment. In order to create awareness among students, it is important to foster correct knowledge to ensure positive approach to the environment. So knowledge also still important here. Also, Harris, Iskonhoimo and others also stated that positive attitude and values towards the environment are accord with a good knowledge. Developing environmentally responsible behavior requires correct knowledge. Developing environmentally responsible behavior requires correct knowledge about climate change, the cause of global warming, carbon emission, and carbon footprint. We have to know the underlying problems, the existing problems that our country or our Mother Earth currently having, so that we may be able to give a correct solutions. There have been an increasing concern with enhancing ecological literacy in society. The current literature on ecological literacy emphasizes on role of scientific knowledge and ecological thinking in identifying cause and effect relationship in socio-environmental system in order to allow more enlightened decision making. Therefore, its primary pedagogical goal are cognitive and experimental. In this, it differs from the broader concept of environmental literacy, which incorporates civic literacy that pertains to change in values and behaviors, and thus also contains affective and moral pedagogical goal. So environmental literacy pertains to the changes in values and behaviors, and thus also contains affective of moral pedagogical goal. Ecological literacy is meant to enable conscious and participant citizen to make informed decision or make action on environmental issue. It's not just about making infomercial. It's not just about pursuing knowledge. It's not just about driving into certain conclusion, but need to take action as well. Effort in this direction includes book by experienced ecologists for the general public, of which two outstanding examples are Lean 2000 and Slobodkin 2003. So let's go to characterizing an eco-literate person. So what is eco-literate person? Dr. Tom Pook 2002 of Lakehead University characterized an ecologically literate person of the 21st century as the responsible lifelong learner who strives to improve the human condition and the environment within the context of self, human groups, the biosphere, and the ecosphere. Please remember, please bear in mind that you are not alone in this world. You are interconnecting with everything around you, within the life circle, and within the ecosystem circle. You're not alone. Your actions are not only affecting you, and the actions of other people are also affecting you. The ecologically literate person, in order to achieve the aforementioned ultimate goal, should become, first, inquire, who actively secure the basic skills and knowledge in order to carry out ecological responsibilities. We know already, through our inquisitive mind, we try to deep the layer of knowledge. Because if we see the upper layer, if we are inquisitive, we know something is there deeper, and we have to dig that out. This also enables her to reach her own potential and place in the physical and natural environment. So, you have to know your place. You have to know, where am I? What is my function here? How can I help? A person must be a reflective learner who understands the value and limitation of human knowledge. We got limitation. Yes, we know that we know also the value of human knowledge, but not all, right? The power and limitation of natural world, role of intuition in real life. So intuition includes here life pursuits and the role of self as it is manifested in one's personal narrative. Okay, in your own life, what is your role? Next is that intelligently self-directed. You must be self-directed. It's not just in making decisions. You have to be intelligent when you are taking actions, who engages in self-appraisal. Set new learning objectives. Develop plans to achieve those objectives. Carries out those plans in flexible, inquired, directed manner. And reflects on the whole process. Okay, so you have plans, you got your objectives. You need to carry out those plans. You're not just going to end up having plans alone and then you just sleep or sit there. You need to stand up and then you have to work hard. You have to work out those plans. You have to work those objectives. And after that, you don't have to leave it there. You need to reflect also on the whole process. You need to think, was it effective? Do I need to change something? What about next year? What will be my next move? Next, you've got to be morally responsible. Who governs with precepts, responsibility, seeking justice, and equality for all that maintain harmonious relationship. You need to think about the equality, that justice for everyone, that at the same time, maintaining your harmonious relationship with yourself, with your society, and with your environment. So in all the types of literacy that we have studied before, we can never avoid the moral or the ethical aspect of these literacies. In order to be literate in this, you need to be ethical in all of this aspect, and that includes the ecological literacy. Next is seek self-transcendence, who moves beyond the limitation of personal ego by identifying human groups, flora and fauna, ecosphere, and transcending the individual life in scope and time. Remember your steps now, your actions now. What you are right now, what you're feeling right now is affected by your past. And all of the decisions that you make in your thinking will also affect your future. We are all part of this ecosphere, even the flora and fauna. Here, flora and fauna hints the idea that we're all affected.
The ecologically literate person of the 21st century has a positive view of life, grounded in the faith of interconnectedness and has the capacity to competently perform significant life work and related tasks, such if you enables her to look upon the human experience positively and all living things compassionately. That we are responsible, lifelong learner who strives to improve the human condition in the environment within the context of self. Just like, for example, in our own experiences in life, we feel sad, heartbroken, down, emotionally imbalanced, then we go back to nature. We need friends to talk, right? And we find peace in nature also. That's why nature is very important to us. The environmental literacy, ecological literacy, and eco-literacy. The frameworks for eco-literacy exhibit a high degree of similarity with frameworks for environmental literacy, in that both sets include similar affective, knowledge, cognitive, skills, and behavioral components. However, what most differentiates eco-literacy from environmental literacy is that eco-literacy is the ability to understand organization of natural systems and the process that maintain healthy functioning, and the emphasis on sustainability and the introduction of spiritual, holistic components, and it expressed in terms of celebration of creation. So, it is about life, with the spirits and reverence of the earth. So when we say a reverence of the earth, it is having a deep respect or admiration, knowing one's connection to the living earth ecologically and spiritually. And the holistic components, for example, are health care, or emotional, physical, spiritual, and also mental health. And also the expansion of the soul. So when we say expansion of the soul, it is an innovative form of spiritual and emotional counseling rooted in principles that leads towards increased self-love and an enriched life experiences. Alright. An eco-literate person is prepared to be an effective member of sustainable society, having a well-rounded abilities of head, heart, hands, and also spirit, which is comprising an organic understanding of the world and participatory action within and with the environment. So the environmental literacy, ecological literacy, and eco-literacy, we have a chart here. We have the general conceptions of environment, dominant educational objectives, the primary pedagogical approaches, and also we have the examples of strategies. First, we have the environmental literacy. Our general conceptions of the environment is that a problem filled all values, The dominant is to develop problem solving from diagnosis to action, develop a system of ethics, adopt environmentally responsible behaviors. Our primary is that cognitive and pragmatic affective or the moral. The examples is that we have the case study, the issues analysis, the problem solving project, but just like in math, okay, analysis and clarification of values, criticism of social values. Second one, we have the ecological literacy. So we have here the object of study system. Next, to acquire knowledge of ecological concepts and principles, develop skills related to scientific method observation and experimentation, and also to develop system thinking, analysis, and synthesis. Understand environmental realities and view of informed decision making. That is very important. And we have here the cognitive and the experiential. And the example of this is the observation, the demonstration, the experimentation, the case study, the environmental system analysis, the construction of ecosystem models. And we have here the last one, the eco-literacy, in which its primary is to share resource for sustainable living. Shared resource for sustainable living. And we have here the dominant is to promote and contribute to economic development that addresses social equality and ecological sustainability. Develop the many dimensions of one's being and interaction with all aspects of the environment. Develop an organic understanding of the world and participatory action in and with the environment. And we have the cognitive, pragmatic, holistic, intuitive, or the creative. Our example for this is the case study, the social marketing, the sustainable consumption activities, the sustainable living management project, the immersion, the visualization, creative workshops. That are the examples. So we have here the greening initiative in college and universities. So to increase awareness of environmental degradation and concern for its rehabilitation have prompted colleges and universities to green their campuses. So a green campus, it is a place where environmentally responsible practice and education go hand in hand, and where environmentally responsible tenets are borne out by example. So the Green Campus Institution is a model environmental community where operational functions, business practices, academic programs, and people are interlinked, providing educational and practical value to the institution. So the region in the world. So for example, here in St. Francis College, So we know that Saint Francis of Assisi is a loving nature, right? So that's why. So this institution has the awareness of environmental and also have a practical value to the institution, and it also provides education to all of the students here. Greening initiatives, although challenging and demanding, yield significant benefits in the long run. So the environmental and economic sustainability, a system-wide culture of sustainability, helps to preserve and enhance what the institution values today as well as for the future. That can anyone benefits of it. The reputation as a leader through example. So as colleges and universities offer courses in environmental management, engineering, laws and regulations, and assessment. Greening initiatives provide them opportunities to practice what they preach and make their work as environmental leaders. So, for example, of the colleges and universities who has the courses about environmental management, we have the Miriam College, the De La Salle University in Manila, the Technological Institute of the Philippines, the University of the Philippines, Diliman, and many more, who offers the environmental management, engineering, laws and regulations, and all about a greening initiatives. So the colleges and universities need to examine their own organizations and implement on their own campuses, and the public expect their industry to do. The economic benefits. It is a routine curriculum-based environmental audit program that reveals waste inefficiency associated with campus activities, coupled with the identification of environmental friendly alternatives, can yield significant cost savings for the institution. So, in our environment, are we doing like them, or are we doing like this? Are we responsible of the greening for the environment, or the community where we live? So in real life, work experience for us student, the environmental audits and pollution prevention evaluations can be integrated into the curriculum, providing students with hands-on investigative and problem-solving experience that they can take with them when they enter the workforce. And this experience not only makes us students more marketable, it also provides the kinds of broad thinking skills that allow us to succeed and thrive once when we are employed. Then to improve quality of life in the campus, having a green campus is a cleaner, safer, and healthier place for all the people in it, and also not just in school but also in our home. That's why taking care of the environment is the very best important in all aspects of our life.